start. Okay. So we are live and we are recording.
Okay.
And
Lisa is here. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you.
Hello, everyone. It's really nice to see all of you.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing?
Sonia is here.
Nice.
Sonia Cerudo. Oh yeah, Agnes Caquera. This is not so easy to find the name. Good afternoon, good evening, Miss Caquera.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm really happy to see you.
Yeah.
I hope I'm audible enough. I don't know. Can I be heard?
Yes, 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 yes. We hear you well and we see you well. Very nice to see you. Sonia is also here. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Hi, Lara. Here's
I think
Lara.
Griselle is also there. Hi, Griselle.
Yes, Griselle. Hi, Lara. Vienna, the Vienna office of the Philippines. Yeah.
Good evening.
Hi, Lara. Good to see you.
Hello, good to see you, everyone. Good evening, Mrs. Sikat as well.
I think Miss Remy Aleppo is not here yet. Doesn't seem to be here yet. I don't see her.
Hi, Renate.
Hi. Hi, nice to see you. In the screen today, not live. Yes, live, but not in person. So I think all speakers are here except Miss Remy, Dr. Remy Alapo. She's not, I don't see her yet. I keep looking.
she's teaching in the school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she probably comes in later.
Maybe.
Come with me, take my hand, just let it go, all the things you had. Just trust and walk, step by step, you'll find yourself with me. Please know how precious you are in my eyes. Please know how much I care for you. Just
Hello, everyone.
never to give up.
Hello.
See the value that you have. I know your pain, everything that you went through. I was crying when you were down, but I see so much inside of you. So keep going even though it's hard.
good evening, dear participants. Good morning in Manila, in Philippines, and good afternoon in the United States, and also good evening in Africa. So greetings from Sebenstein, from Lower Austria. Uh, my name is Maria Riel, and I am the director of the UN Office Vienna from the Women's Federation for World Peace International. And I greet you warmly from our house. And I am happy that we can meet together and share a good project, listening to each other and through making friendship between women from different backgrounds and different cultures. We hope we can promote understanding and cooperation between women and between families, between our husbands, between our children and grandchildren, so that people can feel that we are one family under our Creator who gave us everything what we need. We have sunshine, we have moonlight, we have many beautiful things around us, especially this week I was on vacation with our eldest daughter family in an island, Sardinia, so we could sleep in tent, and we could touch with the trees and with the animals and with everything around us and play freely with the children and with the neighbors and share everything. So from this, I open our meeting today, Meet and Greet, episode 15. And I am happy that so many are here and ready to listen and share good expertise and good experiences with each other. I like to introduce Ms. Kyung to you. She's our young representative from Holland. Uh, job is support young people coming from conflict zones, um, unaccompanied by themselves. So very, very difficult situation. And she is looking for families and for people. They can take care of them and they can uh, show them how they can feel at home and how can they develop their personality. So, Miss Oliveira, the floor is yours. Thank you for coming and being with us this evening. We are very happy that you could find the time in your daily schedule. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Riel, for your welcoming remarks and his kind introduction. And yes, again, a very warm welcome to our meet and greet number 15 with the theme, What Women, Youth and Civil Society Can Bring to the Table to support the UN SDGs for 2030 and ensure that no one is left behind. And for this occasion, we found amazing speakers and projects again to connect with and to listen to. But first of all, another word of greetings by Mrs. Brigitte Ouada. She is the president of Women's Federation France and also the sub-regional director of Europe and Middle East for the Women's Federation. So Brigitte, a very warm welcome. We are very happy that you could be with us yes, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kiernin. Well, it's nice to be with you. So I want the first time that I come to such a meet and greet. So I just want to say thank you for Merly to have to invited me. So my English is still so poor, so I read a few. I mean, we still read a few things to make it more easier for me as well to express myself. So as I say, I'm very happy to be with you and to have this opportunity to share a little bit and to know you, each one of you is here. And I will like also to share a little about my journey with women federations. That's what I felt I will do. My involvement with the Women Federations go back to its founding in 1992. At that time, I was living in Czech Republic, in fact. And then in 1994, I followed my husband to Finland. So where I continued to be actively involved with Women Federation in Finland for 6 years. And then in 2000, so I returned to France, and quite naturally, I continue my involvement with the Women Federation. So first of all, I serve as a general secretary in France, and then in 2008, I became president of the Women Federation. But last year, I was entrusted with a new responsibility as regional director for the Middle East, which is quite a big mission, right? Middle East is not an easy area as well. And while I continue also my responsibility in France. So beyond all these responsibilities, what has kept me deeply connected to Women Federation for World Peace throughout all these years are above all his value and his vision of women and the family, that's for sure. What I have particularly appreciated is that Women Federation does not approach the relationship between women and men as a matter of confrontation. On the contrary, it emphasizes their complementary, recognizing that women and men each have their own qualities and strengths, which can complement one another and contribute together to building a more harmonious society. So I would like to, after all this year of involvement with Women Federation, there are three essential things that I will take away from my journey. Of course, there's many things that really I learn and experience, but maybe I just want to mention 3 points. The first is that Women Federation for World Peace helped me discover and embrace my feminine nature more deeply. I was raised in an environment where I was taught values that were more traditionally associated with masculine values, masculine strengths and achievement, like determination, competition, and the ideas that we should not show our emotions because it's a sign of weakness and all these things, right? Not to cry, not to show your sensitivity, to be strong always. So that was considered that's how I grown up when I was young. So over the years, through the Women Federations, I met many women, exchanging with women's leaders from different organizations. And through all the experiences I had with Women Federation, I was encouraged to reflect more deeply on what it means to be a woman, and in particular on the meaning of a motherly heart. That was the most thing. So what is a motherly heart? Is that someone always at home cleaning and I thought, no, it's not only that, it's just we can have motherly heart everywhere. So I learned that, right? And also I have 3 girls. I have 5 children, but the 3 first are girls and they are all very feminine. So I had to adapt myself. One is hairdresser and the other one is making like a home, like nicely home, more artistic. So anyway, I had to develop my feminine nature through them as well. I gradually came to understand that sensitivity, listening, compassion, the ability to care for others, and the ability to build relationship are not weaknesses. On the contrary, they are genuine strengths that can bring greater humanity and peace to our family and to society. A few years ago, I don't know, some of you remember in Europe, we had the opportunity to work with Ingrid Liedermann, who was the Women Federation for World Peace president in Germany. She developed a series of lectures on the dignity of women. We learn as a team, right, in European. Her lectures were translated into French,
and we organize workshops with other women's leaders from various organizations. So in 2008, we published a small booklet on this theme, which remarkably remains very relevant today. So we have that booklet, I don't know if you can see, maybe not. Yes, this is in French, right? But we made a very nice booklet from this, and people can still use it today. It's very relevant. And the second thing that is particularly close to my heart is the Bridge of Peace. This is really, for me, was very deep. So this is a unique women federation initiative that began in 1994 between Korean and Japanese women, and then spread very quickly to many countries, particularly, of course, in Europe as well. In France, then we did from 2001 to 2003, we organized Bridge of Peace ceremony every year until 2013. These ceremonies were often connected to commemorative days or special occasions involving people or countries that had once been in conflict, as well as to the celebration of friendship agreements, like we did between Korea and France, like 120 years friendship, or Japan, 150 years friendship, also between African women and French women, Muslim, Christians. So anyway, we did quite a few. England. So anyway, many different, according to the national also commemorations. So each time we experienced was deeply moving, something happened that was difficult to put into words. Barriers seems to disappear once we could begin to heal, and what remained was simply the meeting of arts. Sorry. So of course, what people do afterwards, this is their responsibility. But at least we give the chance for them to be close, to be sisters, you know. And then finally, the third things I have learned is the importance of working together with other organizations that share the same values. So in 2012, so I just go, when the Global Women Peace Network was launched, its founders strongly emphasized the importance of working together with other women's organizations committed to peace. I believe this idea is more important today than ever because we need to be all together. I deeply believe that women need to come together more, move beyond their differences, and work together toward common goals. Sometimes we need to put aside our ego, our rivalries, and even our jealousy, because women have more tendency to have this kind of nature, jealousy, and then this kind of, in order to make room for something greater than ourselves. The world needs this unity of heart, but it also needs clear goals and a shared determination to take action. After more than 30 years with Women Federation, I believe this may be what I value most. Each of us can contribute something to building peace, but we are so much stronger when we choose to do it together, as we are now. So thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you very much, Brigitte, for these beautiful welcoming remarks and also highlighting what the Women's Federation had meant for you in your life, but also highlighting beautiful initiatives like the Bridge of Peace and the book on dignity and the curriculum on dignity. Thank you for these reminders or for this promotion. So if anyone has any more interest in these projects, you can always approach your Women's Federation contact person. So thank you so much. And then we move on to another words of greetings, this time from the mission of the Philippines. Mrs. Sikat is with us again and will say something on behalf of the mission. Thank you so much for being with us, Mrs. Sikat, and for your support, and the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you again, WFWP, Miss Oliveira, Maria, Renate, and Merle. To the speakers, resource persons, and participants, Grüß and welcome to the Meet and Greet program. The Philippine Embassy supports such activities as these provide platform for thinkers, movers, and actors in promoting inclusive and sustainable development for all. These initiatives make us realize that the actual work does not rest on the shoulders of one institution or sector. It is a collective effort of the public and private institutions with complementation of civil society and people's organizations. The public sector's role is to provide an enabling environment to facilitate growth, opportunities, and development for all sectors of society. The Philippines is considered one of the lead countries in advocating for women empowerment and gender equality. Last year marked significant milestones in our country's participation in the global movement for women equality and empowerment. So these milestones, some of these are the 50th anniversary of the Philippine Commission on Women, the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Platform for Action, the 45th year of the Philippine signing on the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. It's been 3 decades since the introduction of the GAD budget policy under the 1995 General Appropriations Act of the Philippines, which requires the allocation of 5% budget for all government agencies to be used for GAD or gender and development activities. And the culmination of the Philippine Plan for Gender Responsive Development last year. In terms of existing initiatives, the Philippines, for its role in the UN in Vienna, is a gender penholder in the IAEA. We are also ongoing the review of the Philippine laws, of existing Philippine laws, to update their applicability to the developments on gender. Our mission was also a previous chair of the Group of Friends of Gender. We also claim that we have a 50-50 gender balance in all industries, and specifically in the Department of Foreign Affairs. Most of our undersecretaries or deputy ministers are female. And in terms of youth, the government, the Philippine government has a policy framework for youth involvement in local community governance, particularly the Sangguniang Kabataan or the Youth Council. We also have government-led competitions, scholarships, internship programs, among others. These milestones and initiatives affirm our country's long-standing commitment to advancing women's rights and promoting inclusive development. They're also a testament to the long road the Philippines had taken to reach where we are now. Ranked 25th by the World Economic Forum in terms of gender parity out of 146 countries, and ranked first in Southeast Asia. The Philippines has long been recognized for its legal system that supports initiatives to bring the gender gap in the political, economic, and labor representation to zero, if not at the minimum. And we hope to do more with our partners in the private sector and civil society organizations. In the previous meet and greets, I mentioned about Philippine government's policies in empowering the youth and providing them avenues to participate in governance and in nation's development. Aside from the youth initiatives, there are also women initiatives, and I'm a product of this leadership system in the Philippines. From 1997 to 2006, I was part of community service, of course, through the Girl Scouts of the Philippines. That's from age 7 to 16, doing outreach activities, cleanups, and exposure to community issues, being part of a group of young women with a collective calling for community involvement. From 2016 to 2010, when I was 16 to 20 years old, I was a member and I became the Chief Executive Officer of my academic organization in the University of the Philippines. Prior my term as the CEO, I started as a member and have witnessed financial difficulties in our nonprofit academic organization. One of the most significant accomplishments of my college years were not my grades and graduating on time. It's learning beyond academics, how to manage people, how to inspire them to work towards reaching a better status and school standing for our organization. My term was the start when our academic organization reached a positive bottom line, which were used as our operational budget for the next years and for the implementation of our advocacies. From 2007 to 2010, while I was in my college years, I was also elected as a youth leader in my community. I originally ran for office to honestly just, enjoy the perks of being a local official in the Philippines, because if you're an elected official in the Philippines, you won't have to pay tuition fees in the public school system. So that's the main goal initially. But for 3 years of being part of the youth council in my community provided me lifelong lessons that I carry up to this time. So it exposed me to the workings of local politics in the Philippines and government-led community work. So from college years, it's an institution-based, it's school-based participation. But during my term as a youth council representative, I saw how the government works. I saw where things could go wrong. I saw where we could do more. So it helped me appreciate my contribution as a younger generation of Filipino who can do more for my country. In our term as the Youth Council in my province, is the first completely slated youth council in my community, and it's been years before that happened. So before, we only have one youth representative in our community council, but I organized 7 complete youth council with 1 youth leader to be elected during that time, and it helped a lot for me to work. It helped me a lot even until now in my work. So after that, I worked in the private sector, and also I only stayed for 1 year in the private sector and decided to go back to public service after working for 1 year privately. I joined the government service by serving in the city of San Fernando, I'm living. I served there as the city planning and development coordinator. I was there for 9 years, from 2011 to 2019. And no, 2011 to 2020. And then I learned a lot in that work, because you get to meet different types of people with different backgrounds, different educational achievements, and then from the rural areas, from the urban areas, and it really helped me identify where I can help more, and I can contribute more in my locality, and in my country. So I already gave you an overview of what the country is doing, and then provided you an example on how it affected me as an actual youth who benefited from the women and youth policy framework and development programs of my country. And I hope to hear stories from all other speakers tonight. And thank you very much again for inviting me, and good evening.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sikat. And it was also very, very nice and interesting to hear a bit more of your personal journey as a youth leader and as a representative. It was very nice. So, because you've been supporting us quite some time. And yeah, it's nice in the setting of meet and greet to also have heard some of your own experiences. So thank you so much for that as well. So, let's see, on the theme of what women, youth, and civil society can bring to the table. Our first speaker of this evening is Mrs. Lara Schmid. She's the chair of the International Women's Peace Group in Germany. And she has a background of studies in language, culture, and gender studies, and has a very diverse experience of work. And through all of her encounters, she realized the need for women across generations to learn from one another. So with a background rooted in her feminist values, she became particularly drawn to the topic of the potential of building bridges between cultures, communities, and perspectives. So, Mrs. Lara Schmid, we're very happy and pleased that you could join us tonight, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this very beautiful introduction. Actually, it is my second time joining this meeting, and it's always a very warm, pleased atmosphere. So I really enjoy to be here and listening to all your contributions, and I can learn so much. So therefore, I am really thankful to the Women's Federation of World Peace to organizing this and making this possible. And actually, gatherings like this makes it possible, that we sometimes realize in a world that often feels very scattered, that they insist that dialogue and solidarity is still possible. So shortly, I'm going to introduce IWPG for those who do not know us yet. I represent the International Women's Peace Group, IWPG, based in Frankfurt. We are international, registered in the UN under ECOSOC, and we are active in over 160 countries. And we are a part of a global network for women working towards peace. Actually, like all of you with the same goal. And what we believe is that women are not simply a group who is a vulnerable group that needs to be protected, but we believe that women should become actually the peace ambassadors in their own right, and women who actively help shape society rather than only being shaped by it. Actually, exactly what you're doing tonight, which brings me what I would like to talk about. It already has been mentioned. When we think about how can we contribute to the SDGs, I also think about intergenerational synergy. I don't know if you maybe experience the same. You can, yeah. I'm right now I cannot really follow the chat, but I'm very curious what you're gonna write. If you maybe agree or disagree on this. Like these days, really noticed we hear a lot about generations being at odds with one another. Like the older generations, the younger generations, boomers accused of being out of touch, millennials accused of burning out and chasing ideals, Gen Z accused of being impatient or not really willing to work anymore and too much too online. And I want to gently push back on that framing tonight because I think it misses a really real opportunity in front of us. I don't know if some scenarios come to your mind. Maybe you have these conflicts in family, at work, or in any kind of environment, or we also can see it a lot in media. But what if instead of competing for relevance, these generations saw themselves as complementary? Like boomer women carry decades of life experience. We have so many women, especially in the field of feminism, who fought for such a long time. They've navigated crisis, built institutions from scratch. They also made mistakes and they learn from them. And millennial women have often become the bridge to the generation, but they also have been pushed forward what has been started. They now learn how to balance a career, caregiving, and activism, learning to translate all these ideals into sustainable long-term structures. And Gen Z women bring something the others may not have grown up with: fluency in new tools, comfort with fast-moving digital organizing, and an urgency that refuses to wait for permission. So they really had learned how to adapt to new things very quick. And none of these is more valuable than the other. The real power here is in the exchange. For example, imagine that when it comes to, well, let's talk about women's rights or any kind of what we could use to establish the goals of SDGs. Boomers could mentoring, millennials bridging, Gen Z accelerating, each generation helping the other see possibilities they might have missed alone. And by this, when I thought about it, and I actually talk about this with a lot of people, and they all feel like, yeah, back then in the days, I'm just talking for myself, when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I was like, oh, I wish there was some older or more mature women visible, which could be my idol, because in media, you oftentimes only see very young generations or generations someone expect that they're on a certain place. And I think that no matter what kind of generation it is, no matter what profession or in what circumstances, all women should be visible. And by bridging generations, this could be very helpful. And there actually is one more layer to this I want to name directly. we live increasingly in a society where the moment we face a question or a decision, our first instinct is what? Is to turn to technology. Maybe someone feels like, yeah, I do it like this too. So to search engines, to AI, rather than to the person next to us who might have already lived through exactly that situation. And I say this as someone who works with these tools daily and sees real value in them. Like, I cannot lie, I do the same. But I also think that we're at risk of quietly losing trust in something irreplaceable, which is human lived experience. I mean, what we're coming here today, exchanging so much, we can learn so much. All the things I have mentioned about the Philippines, I didn't know before. And by real exchange coming together, I just by then I get the opportunity to enlarge my horizon. So yes, technology is a good thing, but we should also always value the experience we have, especially when we have women from so many different generations. And connecting this to the SDGs, this is hopefully not only a philosophical point, but it connects directly to the sustainable development goals we are here to discuss tonight. And we're also trying to foster, first of all, SDG 5, gender equality. Real equality isn't only about equal access, it's about ensuring that the experience of older women is valued as leadership, not silenced as outdated, while younger women's ambitions are supported. And equality across generations is just essential as equality across genders. And we also, by this, we can carry on the quality of education. And for me, I really, when I think about it, it really makes me feel like this can be used as a synergy coming together. And maybe it gave you a little, how to say, impulse as well. So my invitation to everyone here tonight is quite simple. The next time you feel the instinct to see another generation as them, or rather us, or something like this, sometimes I actually do it too. But we should pause and ask what they might teach you and what you might be able to offer in return. And this is how we build resilience. This is how we ensure, as tonight's theme says, that no one is left behind. And actually, this is about building real sisterhood. So, yes. Thank you for listening, and I'm really looking forward to what I can learn for the other contributors. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Schmid, for your beautiful presentations, highlighting multi-generational approaches and synergy even. I love that word and the importance of that, according also to the SDGs. It was a very, very clear overview, and thank you for your passion. So let's go on to our next speaker of this evening, Mrs. Lisa Delepin. She is a gymnastic teacher and a student for international law. And she has been complementing her international law students also with a lot of experience supporting law firms. She also has been a guest at the UN in Vienna. So Lisa, we're very happy that you could join us tonight, and the floor is yours. Welcome.
Thank you so much for this very beautiful introduction. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing very well. So this speech tonight, I'm very honored to do it. So thank you for the entire team of the Women's Federation for World Peace for having me tonight at such an inspiring event with such amazing and inspiring speakers. So first of all, I would like to tell you that my speech tonight is going to be a little less research based, as I am still a student and I don't feel like I'm advanced enough to do something like this. So it will be more discussion or sharing with something that I hold really, really close to my heart. So first of all, a little introduction. I'm Lisa. I'm 20 years old, and I just finished my double degree in law and management. And next year, I will be pursuing a master in international law with the ambition of eventually becoming a lawyer in the fields of criminal law, child protection, and human rights. So today, I'm not going to talk about my academic backgrounds, but I'm going to focus on something that is very, very important to me, which is child protection and the importance of the people and environment surrounding children as they grow up. So since 2019, I have been a gymnastics teacher. As I am a gymnast myself, it has been an amazing experience to see a different side of my passion. And so I've been coaching young girls from 6 to 10. And it has been the most enriching and amazing experience, honestly. And it made me grow up so much. And as I went on, years and years went on, and I realized that I was not only teaching physical performance and skills, but I was also teaching individuals and especially young girls. And I was providing that space and for them to build confidence, resilience, determination, and for them to be comfortable with facing challenges and overcoming their fears. So it really made me realize the role that I had as a gymnastics coach and as a young adult, because for some of the girls that I encountered, sometimes at home it was not easy and they were facing conflicts or a difficult familial situation. And therefore, as as a sports coach and just as a gymnastics teacher, my role was not only to teach them skills, but also to be that trustworthy adult that they could open up to and that they could express themselves to. So it was very, very interesting for me to witness that experience and extremely moving as well. And so I realized that these young girls, I was not only here to teach them about how to overcome something, a skill like a gymnastic skill, but also I was helping them in their support system that maybe they did not have at home. And gymnastics for them was maybe a second home, and their teammates were like a second family. So this really made me realize the importance of child protection. And this is why I decided that everything that I was going to do was going to be centered around that idea. And this is why I had the amazing opportunity earlier this year in May to be an intern at the Bobigny Courthouse in Paris. And so I was with an organization that had a network of lawyers whose role was to represent children who were victims of criminal offenses. So that was a very hard yet enriching and interesting experience because I got to meet the children who were victims of these criminal offenses. And one thing that really struck me was that every time that they told me that they had talked about what had happened at home, it was either at school or during a sport activity or just during something that was outside of their familial circle. And so this allowed a report to be made and this allowed protection to be implemented. And this is something that was very important to me as a gymnastics coach to know that because we have this posture and this statute of trustworthy adult, we need to be the one who notice, who listen, and who take children seriously when they open up about this, because their voice matters. And this is why I believe that child protection is an essential part of preventing crimes, because I feel like by working together in providing a safe environment for children and a good support system, we will prevent them for getting involved in criminal activities. And so this has been such a huge part in my life. And this was also something that I got to explore more when I became an intern with the Women's Federation for Peace. And it was honestly, the most amazing and mind blowing experience of my life. I became an intern in this organization, and I had the amazing opportunity to participate in the 35th edition of the Commission on Prevention of Crimes and Criminal Justice back in the beginning of June, I believe, with all the Women's Federation for World Peace teams, which was honestly one of the most inspiring experiences of my life. And out of all of the conferences and side events that I got to participate to, the one that struck with me the most were the one about child protection and how we can go through child protection to prevent crimes from happening. And one that really struck with me was the one organized by the Women's Federation for World Peace. And it was called, very beautifully, It Takes a Village to Raise a Child, which is something that to me is so important to keep in mind. And it was all about discussing the cooperation between the different actors on different scales. So whether it be schools, um, sports, but also governments, psychologists, experts, and just civil societies in general, all of them working together toward providing a good support system for the children. And this was very inspiring to me, and it's really resonated with what I want to do in the future. So this is really something that I wanted to talk to you about. And so this really helped me shift my perspective on criminal justice and the fact that the justice system doesn't have to start after the crime has been committed, but it begins with prevention, and it begins with someone who noticed and who listened and who was there when a child needed to express themselves. And sometimes we need to maybe focus on working on prevention policies rather than just punishing people after the crime has been committed. And this is something that I really would like to shed light onto, because I feel like this is something that as a civil society we really need to focus on and work on. And so, yeah, this really, honestly, this idea really gave me hope as a young woman, because I feel like some young people, we witness difficult situations and maybe violence and, like very difficult and conflicts, tensions, etc. And we feel like as young people, we can really help them, and we can really make a change. But honestly, that conference organized by the Women's Federation for World Peace really helped me, really gave me hope in the fact that civil societies and just like people in general, by working together, we can achieve that goal of providing a good support system for children and helping them develop in a healthy and safe environment in which they will develop into healthy and sane adults instead of involving themselves in criminal activities. So I would like to say that I would like to spread that message, that hopeful message that if we all work together and just like as individuals, if we just listen, if we notice, and if we play that role of trustworthy adults, we can, on a bigger scale, help provide that support system and eventually allow protection to be implemented. And so, yeah, that'll be it for tonight. But I really wanted uh, to share all of this and to shed light onto this topic that I hold really, really close to my heart, because this is something that all of my experiences have taught me. And this is something that I really want to work on in the future when I will be pursuing my master's degree. And even afterwards, I would like to work in this field. And so all of my experiences really shaped my perspective on this. And so I wanted to share it with you guys. So thank you so much for listening to me, for allowing me to share my experiences and to speak about something that I hold really close to my heart and that is really important for me. And I hope all of you guys will enjoy the rest of the evening. And I can't wait to listen to all of the other participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Lisa,
so
for
much.
your great contribution and also your very passionate love for young peers and young people growing up, because it's true, prevention is a big part of the key, and being trustworthy role models actually can help so much. So thank you so much
Thank you
for your
so much.
contribution. Yeah,
Thank you
and
so
also for
much.
being with us tonight. Thank you
Thank
so
you. I
much.
feel so honored. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We are looking forward to continuing to
Thank
connect
you.
and stay in touch. Thank you
Of
so much.
course. Thank you.
So then we move on to our next speaker of this evening. That's Mrs. Sonia Zerudo. She is a retired global textile executive and has also, alongside her corporate work, remained deeply involved in community initiatives, a lot of positions that I will not name here, but is a busy lady, a powerful lady, and she's also the secretary of the Philippine Austrian Cultural and Educational Society in Vienna. Officer of NFIT Austria. So, Mrs. Sonia, very happy that you're here with us tonight, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And I have to say, Lisa, I am so impressed. That was amazing.
Thank you
I
so
remember,
much.
I
Thank you so
remember
much.
when I was 20 years old, fresh graduate, AB International Studies, and figuring out what to do after after this college education. Um, I always call myself that I am a child of martial law. I grew up in Manila, started high school in 1972. And although I am a child of martial law, my father, I was kind of privileged in that my dad was a colonel of the Philippine Air Force. So after high school, I graduated. And then decided to go to the University of the Philippines, but um, decided after one semester that this was not my path because I really wanted to graduate as, with Latin honors and laude. And being in UP with so much voice, I figured that couldn't make me concentrate. So I moved to another school which is known for international studies. Um, Let me just go through the next slide here. I think this is okay. So, picture on the left. Okay, so after graduating, I became president of the Student Council of Marinol. Did not march with the Latin honors because 2 weeks before graduation, I was told because I was a transferee, they cannot give me the magna cum laude, status graduating. So, but that's fine. And that's all right. So I ended up in the private sector. Why? Because I didn't want to get involved with government. I didn't want to. Ideally, I should be, becoming an ambassador, but I didn't want to be representing the domestic policy of the Philippines to the international world. So I ended up, I also actually wanted to volunteer and teach down south, to a much poorer, depressed, but that didn't quite happen. I ended up working for a company that was organizing trade fairs long before trade fairs was popular. One of those, and I worked there. And in 1983, after the last, that's me with the short hair. You can see that. The last show that I organized was an international transportation show. And then 2 weeks thereafter, I was on a flight to Paris that eventually ended up in Yugoslavia, where I was with a company that was joining summer trade fairs. And so in the summer, in August 21, 1983, I was actually in a coastal town in Yugoslavia at the time. It's Yugoslavia, but it's now a part of the Montenegro. And I was in Budva when I have seen on television the opposition leader Ninoy Aquino on the tarmac, bloody tarmac, and I can hear shouts on the television. The Italian newscaster was saying "attentato, attentato," and I was crying like crazy because there he was my hero, and I was fighting against the dictatorship. But there I was in a foreign land. Maybe next slide. So I ended up after the stint in Yugoslavia, I ended up trying my first trying being married, and then looked for a job, and I ended up working for a company here in the 23rd district called Richard Hammerle, where I developed and I became a textile person. I was working for the company for 11 years, went up the ranks. I was developing markets. I was handling most of the English-speaking markets. I worked with designers. I was selling linings, if you could call. I mean, can you imagine having a career selling linings? But it became a global, business. And I always make a joke out of this that I've earned my retirement pension in Austria because I have sold thousands and thousands and thousands of Austrian-made linings, to the global community. But what was interesting is that on the same year, 1996, I was interviewed by Women's Magazine, and where I was one of those featured, where I was asked, where would I go, as a, Quo Vadis Karriere Frau. And I remember, next slide, please. Okay, so I remember when I was in high school, high school, and then on to college, my dad gave me a Swiss watch, and of all Swiss watches to have, it always had 2 time zones. And I love that watch so much, but looking back now, it was foretelling of where I would be. I would always have half of me in the Philippines and half in some other city in the world. So this career allowed me to travel the world, really the world. But in traveling and being an expat, I've lived, of course, in Manila. I've lived in Bangkok, Belgrade, Zagreb, Budva, Graz, Vienna, New York, Hong Kong, Seoul, Bangkok, Berlin. I've I've called all these cities home. And 5 years ago, I decided to come back. Okay. But on my second stint in Hong Kong, as an expat, I realized that every Saturday and Sunday, especially Sunday, I would see Filipino domestic workers on the street of Central. And it sort of gave me so much embarrassment when I would see them participating in events whereby it would be like a beauty contest, and smack in the middle of the road, they'd be in their bikini, because it was a beauty contest. And I felt like I wanted to get involved in something that whereby I could train them to do something that would give them more dignity. And that was when I got involved and developed a group called Lakbay Dangal. Next slide. Okay, so that's my textile world. Okay, go on. Okay, so this was to me I love history and culture. So I decided to put together a group that was founded on knowing the history of Hong Kong and also the history of Filipinos that traversed Hong Kong. And that meant going into the history of our national hero, Jose Rizal. And so I founded this group and I trained Filipino domestic workers to become cultural historical guides. And what we would do is we would be giving free tours, a heritage tour of Hong Kong infused with Philippine history. And we would be so involved in together with the Philippine consulate there. We were joining a lot of the Philippine Independence Day celebration and assisting the embassy in whatever they're doing. So this was something that really, really was so close to my heart. And it allowed me to be creative, allowed me to train, it allowed me to make these individuals, these women, whose job was, to clean homes, to nourish children and take care, but really on a Saturday found dignity in being able to talk about history and knowing their history and knowing that long before there was a Hong Kong, there was already a thriving Manila, a Philippines, long before that, the PIC tram was built, and it was built by Filipino engineers and so on. So go on, next slide. So there I am. So I got into event organizing, all volunteer, mind you, and I was doing it in between my expat job, whereby I'm traveling every 2 weeks. I'm out, developing markets. So move on. Next. So, and this is what he did, they learned the city and found their voice, so there I am. You would see me in the street of Hong Kong telling them the history of, key Filipinos in Hong Kong. Go on. Next slide, please. So, and then I got involved with another program, and that was the Ateneo Leadership Social Entrepreneurship Program. This was a program that was created by the Jesuit University in the Philippines. It started in Rome, and it was to help overseas Filipinos prepare themselves for the eventual return or for their eventual retirement. And I was part, again, volunteer secretariat in Hong Kong. And then I had to move to Bangkok, again, for work, because I was offered a regional position in Bangkok office. So again, on the side, I put together a secretariat, and then I started the program there. And it was, again, another involvement that was really, again, very, very close to my heart. The program in both Hong Kong and in Thailand is thriving, which really gives me the thrill, because I know that I've always said to everybody that when I start something, it's never about me. It's about the program. And the biggest compliment I always feel is that when I am in a program and I can develop leaders to continue the program, that is how I think success is truly measured. Okay, move on. Okay. So, and then 4 years ago, I decided to trigger my retirement here in Austria. I came back thinking that maybe I will just, trigger retirement, get my retirement money. But it turned out that I really need to stay in Vienna if I want to have access to the health insurance system. So, I decided again not to sit around and just have high tea and cafe meetups with friends, but really, again, get involved. And that was when I got involved with NFID. And this is being involved in NFID, and I'm doing a lot of, work, volunteer hosting and all that together with NFID in the UN. And that was where I met Renate. Renate is always, doing to get, there are always activities in the UN, and I would bump into her. And then I got involved with PACES. And this is also something that is close to my heart. So as I said, the retirement gave me more time to serve, not less. And really, I am so busy, you know. In high school, I've always really enjoyed, I've always had this thing about the United Nations, and I admire Doug Hammarskjöld, and I remember reading his books, and I remember him saying, that the United Nations is faith and works, faith in the possibility of world without fear. And then this is quote that he said, "For all that has been, thank you, and for all that is to come, yes." So that is where I am right now. I'm also very involved now. Again, I've called myself, Lakbay Guro, the traveling teacher. That I really love history. So if you want to have a really nice tour of Vienna, get in touch with me, because I am really proud of what I've put together there. But at the same time, I have become a volunteer guro, meaning teacher, in the Philippine Embassy's Paaralan sa Pasuguan, which is this year was its 3rd year, and this is where I help teach Filipino heritage, through through lectures and plays and making it creative, so that the next generation of Filipino Austrians are still in touch with their grandparents or their mothers Filipino heritage.
Mrs. Sonia, thank you so much so far, but we have to
Thank you.
finalize. Sorry
Yes.
so much. I give you your final words, and yeah, then after maybe with questions and answers we can hear a little bit more. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's the last. Is that the last one? Okay, go on. So again, so this is that's it. So this is what I do, and I continue to serve.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your hard work and for all that you've done for the community. And yes, sharing your life and life work with us. Thank you so much. Sorry, I have some lighting problems. I don't know what it is, but yeah, let's just continue. Thank you so much for your contribution, Mrs. Zerudo. And then we go to our next speaker of this evening. This is Mrs. Agnes Caquera. She is a social worker and drug and substance use prevention advocate at Uganda Youth Development Link. And she is introduced by our great colleague, Mr. Rogers. Her expertise includes case management, psychosocial counseling, life skills education, and much more. So, Mrs. Caquera, we're very happy that you could join us. And if it's possible to put on your camera, the floor is yours. A very warm welcome.
Okay, greetings everyone once again. I'm called Caquera Agnes. I'm a social worker at Uganda Youth Development Link. It's an organization that works with young people facing different vulnerabilities, including drug use, teenage pregnancies, and much more. So I'm really privileged to be here, but because of time, I'm going to summarize my PowerPoint. So I'll be presenting how UIDEL, as an organization, what we do to ensure that we support the young girls that come to our centers, or the ones that we support towards the advancement of the SDGs. The young people that we work with, for example, here, this is our executive director, Mr. Dr. Kasiria Rogers. This is a recent graduation photo of our young girls at one of our drop-in centers. Now, that's one of the way how we empower these young girls. These are some of the young girls that are actually have never stepped in school, but we don't want to let anyone behind. We include them and also let them have a feel of how it feels to graduate. So here they were graduating from vocational training, skills in different skills that they are enrolled, including tailoring, fashion and design, computer, and much more. Could you, is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, we see the first slide, or we can go to the next one.
The next, please. So this is us again on our graduation. We can still go to the next slide. Yes, now the kind of girls we are working with. Actually, I've not talked about my background, but I have a background. I've worked with young people facing vulnerable challenges, teenage pregnancies. We have young people in Uganda that cannot actually access pads, sanitary pads. So we go ahead to educate them how to keep hygiene, even when they're faced with their menstruation cycles. So here I was trying to educate some of the girls. The photo did not come up so well, but that is some of the things that we do to give them courage, to tell them, because some of them, they're actually shocked by these body changes. They're not educated about it. And then sometimes they find themselves isolated from society. So we go on to give them the courage, to give them the strength, to ensure them that they are not alone. We are working with them. And here it is our director giving our young the young girls that we visit in different schools to encourage them, empower them about how they can face this world, the challenges that young girls face, including relationships, teenage pregnancies, cultural issues. So we go on to empower. He was giving them a ball so that they, even when they are attending classes or attending their schoolwork, they should not again forget about keeping healthy as one of the SDG, good health. That is, practicing and sports. The next slide, please. Yes. So we go again, like how I had told you, we do skills and we do skills empowerment or development. These are our young girls that have never stepped to school. I will emphasize on that. So we don't let them, because when someone has not stepped in school in Uganda, it is really hard for them. They are isolated and they face multiple challenges. But then we pick them. We call them from all areas they are at, and we have them at our drop-in centers, and we train them in these skills. Here they were doing UVTAB exams. These are exams that are marked here where the girls are on the tailoring machines. They are at the same level with other people that are attending vocational training institutes from anywhere else. And here, our young girls are holding a certificate. That certificate it's called a community-based organization certificate for a group saving organization. So we encourage our young people to save. That's a woman who has her own money. It is very hard to be undermined. Society is very hard this side, the way it relates with women who do not have money. Men tend to, ignore and mistreat women who do not have money. So we got ahead to encourage our young girls that however much you have not stepped in school, however much you're facing different vulnerabilities, please spare some time and save a coin for yourself. So here they had acquired that certificate, which can enable them to borrow resources, borrow loans, and also be supported by different organizations in Uganda, including UIDEL. Next slide, please. Yes, so we also do talent development. We respect these young girls that you cannot, people have different abilities. Our young girls have different abilities. Some are very good at dancing, music, dance, and drama. Others are, if they cannot do the vocational training, then we ensure we put a platform for them to go and join another skill, which is music, dance, and drama. Here they were performing on one of our graduation ceremonies. Then as one of the sustainable development goals, which is peace and justice, and also partnerships, here, the third photo, it is showing a police lady receiving a certificate. She was receiving a certificate from one of our staff as we are training young people and leaders on preventing and countering extremism and radicalism. So we empower. You can see the lady. That lady was very active. So we empower and use these same examples to our young people that you can also still do it. And then we partner with different organizations. Like you see there, we are supported by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, that organization. So we partner with different agencies to ensure that we put all these SDGs into place. Here they were receiving their certificates after the training. Next slide, please. Yes, we also encourage climate action as one of the SDGs, life on land and partnerships as well, because here these are some of our young girls and young boys, of course. We don't let the young boys aside because still these are the men that are going to associate with our young girls. So when we at UIDEL, when we are empowering our young girls, we don't leave the boys behind, because these same boys, if we isolate them, They're the same boys that are going, or men that are going to come together with our girls. So if the girls are empowered and the men are left behind, we might not be doing the right thing. So we work together with them, because these are still the same men that are going to marry our empowered women. So if we empower only our girls and leave the boys behind, we are not doing justice to gender equality. So we work together with them. But then you can see that our young girls and boys are here planting trees, which was supported by UNICEF, KCCA. Those are all organizations that we partner with to ensure that our climate in Uganda is safe. We also encourage our young people that this is a good practice to do, because our drop-in centers, you can see here, this is one of our drop-in centers. It's called Banda Drop-in Center. They are located in slum areas. Slum areas usually, they are drainage systems. It is a bad environment. People don't even think, you can barely find a green environment. And yet some people know that Africa is, we have trees, we have, such. So we encourage these young people that please ensure that you plant a tree. And then we also give each one of them to go with a tree and plant to bring out the climate action, the life on land. The next slide, please. Yes. So UIDEL as an organization that I'm representing, I'm not the only one who does this. We all work as a team to ensure that our young girls, and including the men and then the women, that all of them support the SDGs or advancement of this. So how do we do this? We identify these young people in different communities with their vulnerabilities. As others ignore them, for us, we pick them and give them a chance, because we believe even when a young girl has made a mistake, for example, in Uganda, when a young girl gets pregnant, most of the times the families isolate the person, the communities, they tag a negative, they stigmatize the young girl. But for us, we give them a platform that, yes, it has happened, but there is life after this, because we have success stories. Our young girls changed, like the way I've showed you. Some of those young girls that have graduated are actually teenage mothers, girls that have been used to were victims of drug use, sexual exploitation, but they change. When you give them a platform, they change and support in the advancement of our SDGs. So here is how our agencies and countries can scale it up. I think they can work together and adopt this approach, that you can work together. Every person has a stone they can put towards the foundation. Even these young people that we ignore, they have something they can add up. Yes,
Mrs.
please.
Capoeira, could you round up?
Yes,
Yes,
the last
thank
slide.
you.
I think I'm
Thank
going
you.
to the last slide.
Thank you.
So here's the young girls do not achieve the SDGs through one activity. They need a connected pathways. A connected pathways through listening to them, equipping them with these skills, protecting them, investing in them. Invest your time, invest your counseling time, invest your resources if you can. Partner with different organizations to support them, and also follow up. For us, when we work with our young people, we ensure to follow up so that we have it done. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Capoeira, for this beautiful presentation and for all the work you're doing in Uganda to help all these kids growing up with some circumstances. Thank you so much. And thank you also for Mr. Rogers who connected us. So sorry for my lighting. Then we're coming to the end of our panel. So I will introduce our last speaker for tonight. But before that, I would like to mention that we would like to make a group picture after the last speaker. So if you possibly can, please open your cameras so we can make a group picture of this beautiful meet and greet. And then I would like to ask Dr. Remy Alapo to give her contribution. She is an assistant professor of Black Studies and Cultural Diversity at York College, City University of New York, a researcher with the Migration Observatory Lab at the University of Porto. She holds a lot of positions, honestly, but she's also a civil society representative at the UN in New York with the Women's Federation. Dr. Remy Alapo, we're very honored and happy that you could join us tonight, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Before we begin, I wanted to have my students say hello. I don't know if you can see us. Okay, it's only showing from one computer. Oh, turn off this one. Okay. Let's see. Can you see? Say hi. Hi. Hello from State University of New York in Oneonta. Today is our first day of classes. We're glad to be here today. Say hello, everybody. So hello from New York.
Oh.
All right. To, I don't know, you the share screen. Let's see. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and can you hear me?
Yeah. You need to go in
Very
presentation
good.
mode. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So my topic is going to be on women, youth, and civil society. And I join you this afternoon again from the State University of New York in Oneonta.
Please go into
Today's our
presentation mode.
absolute first day of classes, and the class is on race, gender, class, and culture. So this was very timely that, I have a presentation on women, youth, and civil society. And, why this conversation? Actually, I need to make it to the speaker section so that I can see my notes. All right, so why this topic, that we're looking at today, and looking at the upcoming UN GA that is going to, well, many meetings have started taking place now. And then we're looking at, women's leadership, the role of youth, contributions of civil society, and, the topics for the upcoming UNGA. So it's very important for this topic when we look at, young women, the youth, the role of civil society and our community-based organizations. So let's consider a scenario that we can imagine, a community where young people, such as the lovely students that we have in this class today, and there are about 30 students. So imagine these lovely young people, are leaving school because families have lost income. And this is part of what we'll be talking about, how race, class, culture, and gender affects everyone in every society and the role that each of us can play in it. So for those of us working in education and in civil society, this also means asking questions. Who is absent? Who is not being recognized in institutions? Who don't we see their presence or their contributions acknowledged? Who is absent? And as we approach, 2030, we can start thinking of, all these development agendas, the SDGs, and if we've actually incorporated, the role of everybody, especially, looking at the role of the youth, role of women, the role of girls, and civil societies. Of course, being a representative or advocate for Women's Federation for World Peace, International UN Relations Office, and also previously the New York Metro chapter, women bring extraordinary peace-building capacity to communities and institutions. Yet, of course, we can talk of this over and over of how their role is, the participation. They're not included in many spheres of society. So if we even look at research coming from an educational institution as we're present in our classroom today, we can tell that, statistics, research that has been conducted previously, whether it's by UN Women, whether it's by academia, those in academia or other organizations, we see that there's a disparity in the contribution, the participation, the role that women overplay, but most times they're not recognized for. So if you look in this picture, it shows, organizations talking about the resilience and, women's impact in several activities and how, they collaborate and come together, and how we, have a role to play in bringing women's voices, in the limelight. I'm sure many of us have daughters, we have sisters, we have grandmothers, great-grandmothers, we have aunties, we have nieces, even ourselves. Think of how gender inequality has affected or shaped our experiences and our learning. Could it be something where, your leadership was overlooked? You were not included in a lot of activities where you feel that you had contributed. So this continued to hurt women, especially also in the pay gap that is not even. So we can look at several real-world scenarios, looking at local women's experiences, whether it's in Africa or in Asia or right here in New York. We can tell that, a lot of work still needs to be done. So let's make this concrete, where, the voices of women are included in every sphere of influence. How can each of our organizations, meet with local participants, national participants, or at the international level to bring meaningful participation to the dialogue that will be taking place in September at the UN? So the next population that I want to address, would be youth. They're the future. The population, if you look at the Census Bureau, we have new population every day. The current population, of like our age, we're gonna be done soon, right? We'll be leaving soon. So every day, we give birth. There's somebody that is gonna be a year old tomorrow. Someone just turned a year old today. On Friday, somebody's gonna turn a year old. Think of, the 2030 agenda when, it's now we're in 2026, and that 1 year old in 2030, think of, the life ahead that they have to live when they get to our age and the impact that they must make. So the youth are not just leaders of tomorrow, they're actually peace builders. They want to be included. And I know from a show of hands, unfortunately, my camera cannot turn, I have to keep turning backward on my phone to see, these beautiful students that are here, on the first day of classes. So I can actually tell the audience, okay, so by a show of hands, how do you as youth feel when you're not included in anything? Like your parents or someone said, another made a sad face. Any other person? Yes.
You feel isolated.
Okay, one student just said they feel isolated. Any other person? If you're not included in decision making, you have things to do, but mom and dad always says, do this, do that. Your professor says, do this, do that. But you have your own bright ideas. You want to contribute, right? And then if someone always tells you, no, your ideas are not important, you're going to feel left out, and I know that the youth, they're very vibrant, their minds are so young, they want to contribute. So let's make sure that the youth voices or the office of the youth has a lot to offer the future of our, children or future leaders. The third is civil society. This is where we all come into play. So civil society is one of the most important bridges between, looking at different commitments and governments and policies. They can create policies, they can create programs. They don't have so much red tape that many government entities or individuals have, because they always have to speak to the agenda of the government. But civil society, you can be creative, you can, raise awareness through different campaigns, through various means, and, for the message to be heard. And a lot of field work that, civil society engage in, can mean the bridge between global promises and local lives.
Dr.
And then,
Remy, Dr.
yes.
Remy, thank you so much for your contribution.
So let me go to my conclusion. So
yeah,
I wanted
one more
because,
minute to finish off.
yes,
Thank
sure.
you so much. My apologies.
Because we have a class full of young people,
Mhm.
and I want them to know about the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes.
Again, the topic for this class, or the title, is Race, Class, Gender, and Culture. And the SDG covers every aspect of that. But for this presentation, when I'm in a classroom or have my youth here, we have 5 SDGs that we want us to participate in. The first is on quality education, which is SDG 4. The second is gender equality, which is SDG 5. Reduced inequalities, which is SDG 10. Peace, justice, and strong institutions, SDG 16. And partnerships for the goals, which is SDG 17. We'll be covering a lot of that this semester in this class, and I'll be sharing a lot of my work with you, Ms. Merle, so that you can also follow us along. So we also have some recommendations. Let us take action, be inclusive, be participatory, and keep these 5 recommendations you see on the screen in mind. Thank you so much, everyone, for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alapo, for your great presentation, and also for inviting the class to be with us as well. That's very unique. Thank you so much. I think it will be a great semester over there. And I would like to
Please stop sharing. Dr. Dr. Remy, please stop sharing.
Please stop sharing.
Thank you.
Yes. So I would like to invite everyone to open their camera so we can make a group picture. I don't know if that's possible at Dr. Alapo's class. That would be amazing. But if we can all open our cameras, then I'll give the lead to our technical colleague, Lily, to make a group picture to lead us through that.
So a few cameras are still off. Let's see that we can turn all the cameras on. Okay, we'll start taking shots, and the rest I'll take the slides from the recording of the gallery. Dr. Remy, I have the photo version. I don't know if we have the classroom picture. I don't see it. No. Okay, anyhow, good. So let's go. And 1, 2, 3 now. That's 1. And we'll take another one. Everybody smile into the camera. Maybe wave. And we've captured that. Save. No. Let me save that. Here it is.
Now I'm also seeing Mr. Rogers. That's good, Mr. Rogers. Nice to see you. Lily, are we done?
I think I didn't get that last time.
Okay, sure.
Can we just do one more with wave?
Okay, one more with wave. Okay.
My computer's full, so I'm having a few technical issues. So, okay. No, it doesn't show me. It doesn't like me anymore. I don't know. It might let me say. Anyhow, I'll take it from the recording. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I know I promised that we would have question and answer time, but actually we do not have question and answer time anymore. But I saw that Lara had her hand up. But
No, sorry, it was still from the waving.
oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, we're truly inspired by all of our panelists, and we're going to the last part of the program. And for that, I would like to give the word to my colleague, Mrs. Renate Amosbauer. She's the president of Women's Federation Austria and also the secretary of the UN team in Austria, Vienna. So, Renate, the floor is yours, and you'll explain what you're here to do.
Yes, thank you very much, dear Kyungin. You're our nice colleague from Holland. Thank you very much for inviting me for this end part. I'm really honored also to be with you, and I'm totally inspired by all the presentations that we heard today. Is so inspiring from all these different angles to come and contribute to the SDGs and for a future world that is going to be better than the world now. And to make a nail with heads, we say making nails with heads. We have some surprise, maybe some surprise for you. We have decided to honor you with a Global Women Peace Ambassador Award. Those speakers who have been the first time with us and not members of Women Federation. So we have, I read the text. This is going to be, you're going to be a Global Women's Peace Ambassador, the name I say later. Women's Federation for World Peace International, on behalf of its co-founders, Dr. Sanmi Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan, is proud to recognize the awardee as a Global Women Peace Ambassador based on their exemplary accomplishment in the area of, and this is different according to your area of engagement, Global Women Peace Ambassadors are peace leaders representing the religious, racial, and ethnic diversity of human family and all disciplines of human endeavor. They stand on the common ground of shared values and are committed to the path of promoting reconciliation, overcoming barriers, and building peace. And we are totally dedicated that you are valuable of this Global Women Peace Ambassador certificate. And so the first one is to give to Miss Sonia Sorudo. Now I just have to make my screen share. Yes, Miss Sonia, this is for you. And as we
Oh
will
my
going to
gosh.
meet in person again, so I will give it to, we will give it to you the next time we have a chance to meet. Yes,
Thank
and
you.
then we have
You,
this
you won.
Miss Sonia Asaruda in the area of education and culture. I hope this is correct.
Just the spelling of my name is not with a J, but with an I.
Ah, okay, thank you for telling me. Yeah, because in German we write
But
Sonia
thank you
like that.
so much. Wow, that is so unexpected.
Yeah, so
Thank
you
you.
are welcome in our network of Global Women Peace Ambassadors.
Thank you.
And we have, of course, you're not the only one. We are a family of peace ambassadors. And the next one is Miss Sonia's, oh, what is the same one? Serura, Sonia, oh dear. Lara Schmidt. I think I made a mistake. Miss Lara Schmidt. It just takes a while to get here. Miss Lara Schmidt, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm very happy we got to know each other a little bit more after all, because we were trying online, but the time was passing by, busy times. Thank you so much. And welcome in our network of peace ambassadors, women peace ambassadors, working for peace. I liked very much your contribution also.
Thank you
What
very
you said
much.
was very valuable. Thank you so much for explaining it so clearly.
Thank you very much for the appreciation.
So maybe we stay in contact when you come to Vienna next,
Yes, definitely.
so we
Definitely.
can give it to you.
Thank you very much. I feel very honored. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Welcome. Applaus. And then we have another lady, Miss Lisa Delepin.
I think she needed to leave, right?
Was
She
Lisa
needed to
not
leave
here
early.
anymore?
No, I think she had to leave for class.
Okay, so we will pass it on to her. We hope she comes to Vienna again. And I'm very sorry, I made a mistake because I have two times Sonia Cerudo, and actually I want to have another, yes, maybe I can manage. Yeah, I got it. Now I have to share. Miss Agnes Caquera, we are so happy that you are with us. We got to know your director since several years actually, and thank you so much for your sharing and the amazing work that you're doing with young women, and not excluding the boys, but educating boys and girls together and picking them up where the society loses them. Thank you so much, Agnes. I hope we can see you one time in Vienna.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate.
Thank you. And really a lot of power to continue this valuable work that you are doing and your organization.
Thank you. We
So
appreciate.
if you don't come to Vienna, then we will give it to Mr. Rogers because he might be here the next time there is a conference. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you
please.
very much, dear Agnes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now we have appreciation because some ladies are kind of the Women's Federation members, but we have a word of appreciation for Miss Remy Alapo. It just, oh, sorry, it always takes a while to come. Miss Remy Alapo, is she still here? She was she's the teacher, probably is busy with her class.
Yes.
It was so nice to see you and really nice to see you with your students. A great work that you're doing. So certificate of appreciation, she's connected with Women Federation in New York. And last but not least, we have an appreciation. This is actually Merle Soquila who invented this appreciation. It looks so beautiful. And one for Nora, Miss Nora Waldman, who is a musician and who contributed the song at the beginning. And I think we will hear another one. She is also mother, I think, of 2 or 3 children. And she is musician. She composes the songs. She writes the text. Hi, Nora.
Hi, thank you so
Nora,
much.
so nice you're here. So
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you for your beautiful music.
Thank you
It's
so
filling our
much.
hearts. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you're still in Austria? No, you're not in Austria.
No, I'm actually in America. I'm
In
just at work.
America.
Yeah.
So it's afternoon for you. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Nora, and thank you for
you.
sharing your beautiful music with us. Yeah.
Thank you.
You will also get it when you're next time in Austria. Waiting. Thank you. So I give the word back to Kyung-in, please. You can take
Thank
over
you
for the
so much,
rest
dear
of the
Renate.
evening. Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you so much for honoring our colleagues and longtime friends with their great projects and contributions to achieve together all the SDGs. Thank you for your working together to create a better place for us all. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mrs. Merle Blaschke, the initiator of the meet and greet, for some final closing remarks. And after we will hear entertainment from Mrs. Nora Waldman, who we just saw. So Merle, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, dear Kyung-in. Good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for being with us here tonight. I am very delighted to see you all from around the world. Today, we had the 15th meet and greet online gathering. It always makes me happy to see people from different walks of life to talk about their experiences in life and how they contribute to a better and more peaceful world. So far, it has been a successful contribution to build more harmony and peace. Thank you very much indeed for all your very insightful presentations. To our Global Women Peace Ambassadors and recipients of Appreciation Certificate Awards, congratulations. Just to emphasize that you are amazing and very much deserving of this award. My special thanks always to the Philippine Embassy Vienna office for their unwavering support. Very much appreciated that Miss Crystal Tisikat is with us tonight. Once again, thank you to each of you who contributed to the success of this meet and greet number 15. Thank you very much. Also to my amazing team, UN Vienna, WFWP Austria, led by Mrs. Renate Amesbauer and Dr. Maria Real, and the whole team. Also to my husband, who has always been supporting me all the way. Just to emphasize that what we do here now is very important. Indeed. Why? Because we are creating a culture of heart which is necessary to build a world of peace, truth, beauty, and goodness. I can say this again and again. That each of us has a divine responsibility to be peacemakers and builders of a better world. So we will continue with this meaningful work and meaningful dialogues of sharing experiences, inspiring stories, best practices, vision, etc. Anything that we can learn and grow is essential at this very crucial time of global uncertainty. So I encourage everyone to keep going. Thank you all so very much. And let's do it.
Thank you so much, dear Merle, for your closing remarks and for this great initiative of the meet and greet. Yeah, it was a beautiful evening. We could connect a lot of people, I think, together, and hopefully we'll find time next time for questions and answers. So as we can still connect through the chat, let us listen to the beautiful music of Nora Waldman. It's her original song. So we don't have a date yet for the meet and greet number 16, but we will inform you as soon as possible about it. Please keep connecting and doing your great work. Thank you so much and have a lovely evening.
Fears and doubts are in my heart when I see despair in others. Isn't there a way for them? Have they ever seen the light? Do they know how much you love them? Do they know that they care? What if their life would change if they know who you are? Everyone is wonderful. Everyone is beautiful, oh God. eternal love. Everyone has a chance from heaven to be embraced by you. It's time to show the way with love and compassion, just as siblings of parents. We will live with you. Everyone is wonderful. Everyone is beautiful. Let them know that they have a chance. Oh, everyone is wonderful. Everyone is beautiful. Let them know that they have a chance. Everyone is wonderful. Everyone is beautiful. Let them know they have a chance. Oh, everyone is wonderful. Everyone is beautiful. Let them know they have a chance. Thank you.
Thank you all and see you next time. Thank you for connecting. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.
Bye, Dr. Alapo. Thank you.
Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Also appreciate for
Bye.
coming in.
Thank you,
Very
Renate.
nice.
Bye.